Hey, welcome to another Valley Forged. So I'm minding my business, working on a new wallet file for y'all. I think it's going to be awesome. Little treat here. It's going to get better here in a second, but working hard on that. And look what comes up on my email. And I knew this was coming. This is not something that hit me blindsided. Atomstack told me about it and told me that they were going to have 2 demo models, but that I wasn't getting one of them. Thanks. But that doesn't surprise me. My channel's not that big. I don't know yet who's going to get it. There's no videos out that I've seen by anyone, so this may come tomorrow because the launch is tomorrow. So I figured as a self-respecting laser channel, I should at least let everybody know about this. So in case this is the perfect thing for you. Now, it's not perfect for everybody. I definitely wouldn't recommend this for everybody, even if you had the money. But for the right people out there, this is going to be amazing. So let's take a look at it. 120 watts. There's actually a couple of versions, and so they're not just, you don't have to get 120 watts. So the Glacier, world's first 120 watt water-cooled diode laser engraver. 24/7. Continuous operation with 0 decay. 5 times longer lifespan than air-cooled lasers. Extra large working area. So 800 by 800 millimeters, so double what you're probably used to. So you can work on those bigger pieces of wood, which is important if you're going to have 120 watts. You can make tables, things like that. We're going to see that. I will have a link below if you want to click on this and follow along. And I'll give you my thoughts along the way. I had the 70 watt max, or the 70 watt diode laser. It was excellent for doing specific things. You know, Clackshaq's got one too. He uses it a lot. It is great for cutting thick pieces and working very fast, as long as the kerf isn't super important to you, which for a lot of my files, you know, even making leather or doing my kitties or making the American flag, well, any of the American flag stuff, but the bottle openers or the American flag. Maybe an exception would be making the large Lord's Prayer crosses, like you see behind me. A lot of you make those. And as long as you're making the larger version, in fact, you could make a way larger version with 800 millimeters, you would be great, I think, using the 120 watt laser. But if you're going to try and make, 8 by 10 version, you're probably going to have some issues with the small letters because the kerf is so large, it just might cut some of that off or make it look bad or make it look weird. Now, you may be thinking, oh, I'm overstating how big this kerf is, but even with the 70 watt, I couldn't really make, like I said, the kitty, the corgis, anything that fits together like a puzzle. It would be loose because it cuts away a lot of material. Also, it brings a lot of smoke because it's cutting away a lot of material. So you're going to have more smoke, more of this. And on some of the advertising, they're not really showing that. And hey, maybe they've fixed it. I'm guessing it looks like the same air assist they were using before. A more powerful air assist might actually be helpful. Definitely going to want, like Clackshaq has, I believe his smoke, it pulls from the bottom. So making an enclosure that you can suck the air out from the bottom and it be very powerful will probably be super helpful here, just to get all of that smoke out of the way right away. But in fact, before we go any further, let's look at this video. And this is real. With the 70 watt diode, I was able to do what they're doing here. So I know with the 120 watt, it's going to do it quite well. So let's take a look at this and I'll just talk about it. Okay. So they're cutting basically a little table, or you could even make a chair like this, a little chair, certainly a kid's chair, very quickly. If Steven is watching this, who ended up with my 70 watt, made a cabinet, we did a video about that a long time ago. You can make some real stuff with these lasers, and it's so much easier than having a CO2 laser, right? As long as you know you don't want to do transparent or basically acrylic, anything but black, you're really going to, if you're doing wood, this is really going to be the thing. I wouldn't even recommend it for leather because of the curve size. It's going to leave a lot of soot. I would say a 20 watt laser is really kind of perfect for that, like the craft I have. So look at this. I mean, look how thick that is. 10 minutes, done. And I'm guessing the Lord's Prayer cross, which would take an hour or sometimes a little less on a traditional 20 watt, 30 watt diode, you're going to be able to do in 10 minutes. So say you wanted to make 1,000 of them, this may be the way to go, highly profitable. But I would more think, or you wanted to make really thick ones. That might be a thing. But certainly for doing furniture and things, I mean, there's so much. Hopefully at some point I will get a hold of one of these and, build the whole enclosure and do the whole thing maybe before Christmas and get a chance to really test this. So what do we got here? What makes this different than others? It is both water-cooled and sealed. So meet the Atomstack Glacier, meet the world's first water-cooled laser engraver equipped with a powerful 120 watt diode laser. Unlike traditional air-cooled systems that suffer from heat buildup and power loss, this advanced machine uses a precision-engineered water cooling system to maintain optimal temperature, delivering uninterrupted 24/7 performance. Another thing that I'm interested in, I didn't really look at in the video, is how does the water cooling get to, It's got to come from the side here all the way through the drag chain, all the way, through here onto, you can see that right there. So let's kind of blow that up. You can kind of see these hoses and everything that are going to be moving along with the gantry, the laser head at all times. That's not necessarily a terrible thing. It just means that you're going to have some points of failure there with water, whatnot. Not necessarily a bad thing. It is interesting doing a sealed design. Now, many of you with a Rolly Lasermatic, amazing machine, obviously, but that is one of the difficulties is cleaning that pretty consistently. People trying to put a filter on that, but it ends up burning out the laser faster. I have one of these air duster thingies that blows super, super fast. And I'm able to, I put something in the fan to hold it, and then I blow it out real good. That's worked for me really, really well, and I haven't really needed to clean it. As long as you do it somewhat consistently, I don't really end up with a lot of buildup, but I've learned that over time. But with this system, it's sealed, so you wouldn't have to deal with that. How much do you got to clean the lens? Do you ever have to? It's going to be interesting. The Atomstack Craft, that's a couple of the really, really amazing things about it. That lens never gets dirty. I mean, I check it after using it for a couple of weeks. It's clean as a whistle. I don't know what technology they're doing. Hopefully they're going to use that on the new one because it is so great not to have to clean a lens. And I still check it every couple of weeks. It is very easy to check as well, much easier than, say, the Rolly. But that's just because, that was an older laser. This is a newer laser. They put a lot of new things into it, and it's quite a bit more expensive at the current time. I just did a video on that. You can check it out. And I also did a video comparing the two. Both absolutely amazing. Just depends on how much money you want to spend and, what you like better. And getting back to this, how much power you need. Because, This is a 20 watt. Hopefully they're coming out with a 40 watt pretty soon, and I should be getting one of those. So the difference of 40 watts and 120 watts, I mean, come on. 40 watt, the kerf is really, people want to say sweet spot. I think 30 watts is actually the sweet spot, but 40 watts, I still end up wanting a 40 watt just because it's faster and far easier to cut 1/4 inch. But as far as kerf size go, I think 30 watt has been just like perfect. Like it's such a great kerf compared to speed and power. And that, of course, is for me because I am doing mostly things that cut out like puzzles. All right, designed for demanding workflows, our advanced water cooling system holds the laser at a steady 30 degrees Celsius, enabling true 24/7 operation with zero thermal slowdown. So you can just run this thing forever. And if you're in a hot environment, you really can tell with a lot of lasers, they do get overheated. Now, I haven't run into any problem for years with lifespan, but I've got lasers coming and going because I'm reviewing all the time. So maybe some of you have a lot more experience with that. So they're showing probably a 3-year lifespan. So let's, hey, that's kind of what I've been seeing already is about 3-year lifespan, but this is a really powerful laser. So they give you all the yada yada, delivers precise and reliable results on wood, acrylic, PCB boards, and more. Acrylic, of course, is still going to be mostly your darker, non-see-through, non-transparent acrylics. I did tests, of course, for Craft Closet on all of the diode safe laser acrylics. And that stuff is going to work super, super well. Definitely one pass with this. But again, you got to think about the kerf. If you're going to be doing large engraving like this, I would say probably the 40 Max is going to be better off than this huge 128. Now these, if I remember properly, you can change the power output for this, and maybe that will make the kerf that much better. You can do 40 watts on this. Still a lot more to learn, but we'll see if you step this down to 40 watts. Is it going to be similar to a 40 Max, their other 40 watt laser, or a typical 40 watt laser engraver? See, it's showing right here, you can get the 90 watt version, 45, 70, and 90 watts, or the 120 watt version, which goes from 40 watts all the way to 120 watts. And then it gives you the spot size. I never believe any of that stuff until I actually see it. So most of this I'm just going to not believe until I can verify. And then it tells you about Atomstack, which is generally a good company. Their customer service is not the best, I can tell you, from not just my experience, but mostly from other people's experience, telling me their machine is broken and there's nothing they can do. But it is generally pretty good compared to a lot of the other manufacturers. So I just did a video comparing, saying what's the best laser, and I go through all that. But of course, this wasn't included. The price is going to be over what I am talking about was talking about for that video. So not a tremendous, I guess what else can they tell you? This is about all they could tell you. It cuts thick wood really good and it's pretty big and it's water cooled and nobody's really done that before. World's first. So I love to see innovation in lasers since this is my passion. Not only is this my job, I think about it all the time because I love it. And so when I see innovations of any kind, this could be put into many other, other types of lasers. I don't know where it's going, but it's fun to see things evolving. And, I talked years ago about the first 100 watt. When are we going to see the first 100 watt diode laser? And now we're seeing 120 watt diode laser. So really cool. I will continue to look and update you on this in any way I know, and hopefully point you to whoever ends up getting a demo version of this, one of the two. And I am going to get back to making leather wallets. So I will see you all in the next one. Love y'all.